Today we're going to talk about your GI health. Your GI health is critical to your overall well-being. You're made of 75 trillion cells, but those cells are nourished by how healthy your GI tract is. So you eat an apple, you eat a carrot, you eat a piece of meat. Well, how healthy is your stomach? How healthy is your colon, your intestines? How well are you absorbing? Average American suffers from lots of gastrointestinal problems. We're going to talk about 4 of them. GERD, which stands for gastroesophageal reflux disorder. That's acid reflux up the throat, heartburn. But we have to remember, 50% of people suffer from GERD, and they don't even know they have it. It's called silent GERD. And we're going to talk about how it contributes to lots of problems. We're going to talk about irritable bowel syndrome, which is where your bowel is irritated. But have you ever thought, why is my bowel irritated? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about constipation and diarrhea. Constipation, not a good thing. Makes you a toxic waste dump. Diarrhea, not only does it cause malabsorption, but you have to wonder, well, why is my bowel so irritated that my bowels are moving so quickly? Well, we're going to offer you some insights as to how you can make your colon healthy, and as a result, make yourself healthier. Remember, there's a saying, death begins in a colon. If you can't assimilate your nutrients or you're reabsorbing toxins, not a good thing. Got to take charge. So let's talk about acid reflux, or what's called GERD, G-E-R-D. First off, you want to digest your foods. Many of us eat processed foods, canned foods, packaged foods. They're devoid of enzymes. Think about walking through an orchard full of apples. Do you see 20 years worth of apples? No, because they degrade or they digest themselves. Well, fresh fruits and vegetables, even meat, like roadkill, it all digests itself eventually. Processed foods don't. Supplement with digestive enzymes is a great idea unless you have an ulcer, then you don't want to do it. But otherwise, take some digestive enzymes with your meals and you might say, wow, my acid reflux is better. The other thing which you don't want to do is you don't want to drink liquids with your meals. At the very most, about 4 ounces of liquids. Otherwise, you're filling your stomach full of fluid and you're diluting your stomach acid and you're not going to digest your food. Because all of a sudden, let's say you have a concentration of 10 times, all of a sudden you dilute that 5 ounces with another 5 ounces. It's half as strong, all things being equal. There's a pH algorithmic thing that's a little complicated, but you get the idea. You're diluting the acid. You're going to lessen your digestive capacity. In addition, when you're drinking a lot of liquids, often you're not chewing as well, which is critical. It's critical with you if you have acid reflux or GERD not to drink liquids 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. So you're going to bed at 9, don't drink after 6 o'clock. In addition, no caffeine, no mints, no chocolate after dinner. Ideally, the caffeine, you don't want to have any of that after lunchtime because it relaxes the lower esophageal sphincter, that's right by the stomach, that goes up the esophagus, which is your food tube, and it causes you to percolate like an old coffee pot. Remember, only 50% of people get the concept of, hey, I have acid reflux. But remember, 25% of chronic pharyngitis, tonsillitis, even sleep apnea, and sinusitis are related to acid reflux. You might not even know you have it. So what you want to do is with the head of your bed elevated, because if you elevate the head of the bed, gravity will work to keep the acid in your stomach. Simple bricks, telephone books, you want to basically elevate the head of the bed so gravity works to keep the acid in your stomach. Also, of course, lose weight. If you lose intra-abdominal weight, there will be less pressure. And if you have sleep apnea, you snore, you stop breathing, you wake up tired, get checked out for sleep apnea because if you're not breathing well at night, that startling pushes the pressure up and can actually violate that little valve and cause the acid to come up in your throat. So acid reflux is important not only because you have heartburn and symptoms, but it erodes away your esophagus, increases your chance of esophageal cancer. Not a good thing. Let's talk about irritable bowel syndrome. The name says it all. Irritable bowel. My bowels are irritated. Why are your bowels irritated? First and foremost, what I see in my clinical practice of 15 years is that people actually are eating foods which are irritating to their systems. You might know some of those, but with a simple food allergy test, which measures 96 different foods and gives you a score of low, no, moderate, or high, you actually will see whether or not you have reactions to some 96 different delayed or hidden food allergies. You can order this directly as a consumer now, so you don't even need a visit with your doctor for the ordering. Of course, when you get the results, share them with your doctor if you choose to. But get insights of when you're choosing foods, are you eating foods that are good for you? Likewise, you want to make sure you have digestive enzymes to help break down offending foods. You want to, of course, also have friendly flora. Friendly flora is a friendly bacteria. That's a good neighborhood watch. The cavalry that comes in to protect your body. Every time you eat something, it has bacteria on it. It has fungus on it. Do you want those things to go unopposed into your system? The answer is no, especially if you have irritable bowel syndrome. Lots of research on irritable bowel and friendly flora. Smaller meals can be helpful, and minimize your carbohydrates. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to bloat, you're going to feed the bacteria, and it's going to further irritate your system. So let's move on to the next topic, which ties into the irritable bowel. It's constipation, and the next topic will be diarrhea, which we're going to be talking about. Constipation. A lot of times with irritable bowel, you go from constipation to diarrhea, back and forth, because your irritable bowel is irritated. So it goes from fast to slow, it takes a rest, and you go back and forth. When you have constipation, how do you know you have it? If you're going every other day, are you constipated? But I'm regular, but you're regularly broken. You want to have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. Otherwise, as you've all noticed, if you don't have a regular bowel movement, what happens? Your bowel movement is drier. Your stool is drier. Well, what happened to all that moisture? It reabsorbed in your body. So not only would a good detoxification program work for you, you want to make sure that your colon is working well. Flush it out. How do you do that? Lots of water, good hydration. You can do that with water, but you can also add Vital XP to add nutrients to your system. Also, magnesium acts as a natural muscle relaxant. Do you think about calcium contracting the arm? Magnesium relaxes the arm. Likewise, it helps relax some of the smooth muscle, pulls water into your colon. Vitamin C does the same thing. If we were monkeys in the zoo, we get fed 4,000 to 6,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. Most of us aren't getting enough vitamin C anyway. Loading up on vitamin C will definitely get your bowels moving. If you get too much vitamin C or too much magnesium, you'll know it because you'll get diarrhea. Find that little happy balance for your body and good hydration. Also, if you have a slow thyroid, everything's slow, your skin's dry, your bowels are slow, you're not thinking relative to yourself as quickly, then up your thyroid, speed up your metabolism, get your doctor to measure your TSH, your free T4, and your free T3, and see, is my thyroid up to snuff? You want your TSH level from a natural medicine perspective between about 1 and 2.5. If it's higher than that, that means your thyroid's lower. It's a paradoxical thing. You also want to do friendly flora. If you have constipation, you also want to lessen certain foods. Bananas, cheese, and red meat, all constipating. And if you actually think about this adage, BRAT, B-R-A-T, bananas, rice, applesauce, toast, it's called the BRAT diet. It's actually what we use for diarrhea. But if you have constipation, it's actually going to be causing the opposite thing to happen in your body. That's not a good thing. So the opposite of constipation, diarrhea. Your bowels are now moving too quickly. So with the constipation, you're toxic. You're absorbing toxic, muddy water into your system. With diarrhea, you ate something, it goes on through. Whether it be your supplements, your drugs that you might be taking, it's actually going through your body far too quickly. Not good. It's going to cause malabsorption. But also the question is, what's causing the problem? Do you have a bad bacteria? Do you have a fungus? Do you have something going on? Well, get a stool analysis, get your stool measured, and see whether or not you can actually find out what's causing the problem. But beyond that, if assuming you don't have colitis or ulcerative colitis or Crohn's or diverticulitis, well-known diagnosable conditions, look at digestive enzymes and look at food allergies. Food allergies cause lots of problems. I have patients in my practice that have diarrhea 1 to 20 times a day, and one young woman in her 30s actually had diarrhea about 10 to 15 times a day, alternate every other couple days. She found that she avoided dairy. She did much better. She would never have known until she did her food sensitivity allergy test to figure out that she actually was offending her body, causing diarrhea, a dumping syndrome. And no, she didn't have lactose intolerance. She actually had a sensitivity to the food allergy. So once again, a difference between a lactose intolerance and a true dairy sensitivity. She actually was having a response to that protein, and her immune system was picking up, this is a foreign protein I don't like, and a war ensued, and she had diarrhea, trying to eliminate things. So your body's designed to either vomit, diarrhea, or expel things out of your body. Something gets in your eye waters. Something gets in your GI tract, you get rid of it one way or the other. Figure out what's going on. Friendly bacteria, also important for diarrhea. I encourage everybody, have some like BioPro, it's an acidophilus kind of product, at home. We actually open up a couple capsules, swallow it at the first sign of, oh, I ate something wrong, I feel kind of grumbling, I feel nauseated, settles the stomach. Also what you want to do is look at how long has this been going on, because it will be a sign of some other problem. So get tested, take charge, and realize that your colon is your well-being. And there's a saying, death begins in the colon. Take charge of your colon, because your colon is your interface from the outside world and the inside world. If it's not a good interface, it will actually sabotage all your other health goals. Also, inflammation of the colon has been linked to more colon cancer. You have to have a good friendly neighborhood watch. That's a good neighborhood watch. That's a friendly bacteria in your colon. In addition, if you're not having a healthy colon, you're not absorbing your supplements, your medications, or your nutrients properly. As a result, you're in survival mode, and you clearly will not get to the level of thriving. You'll be barely surviving unless you take care of your colon. So start today, take charge, do some testing like food allergy testing, some supplementation, and realize if you have colon problems, it interfaces and interacts with all aspects of your well-being. So take care.